Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're like me, you've probably been lost in anime card battle, trying to figure out which cards are worth your time and gems. With so many options out there, it can feel like you're rolling the dice, literally. But don't worry, I've got your back. Today, we're diving into the anime card battle tier list, where I'll be breaking down the rarest, most powerful cards and all their epic abilities. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned player, this list will help you figure out which cards you should be rolling for and which ones to avoid. So, grab your snacks, get comfy, and let's talk about these game-changing cards. From insane attack boosts to mind-blowing support abilities, we're going through them all. If you want to know which cards are going to help you crush your opponents and which ones might just be a waste of space in your deck, you're in the right place. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be an expert on all things anime card battle. Let's get started. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking abilities in anime card battle. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Wooden Log, Lucky Charm, Water Hashira, Shadow Strategist, Water Bender, The Fool, Ninja Vest, White Hawk, Abyssal Monarch, Witch of Frost, and Eternal Lich. Alright, buckle up, card warriors, because we're diving into the nitty-gritty of the C tier archetypes in anime card battle. Now, I know what you're thinking, C tier, isn't that where dreams go to die? Well, yes and no. Sure, these cards aren't the shining stars of your deck, but hey, they've still got some tricks up their sleeves. Let's break down why these archetypes might not be your go-to, but why they shouldn't be completely ignored either. First up, we've got the Wooden Log. Sounds basic, right? I mean, it's literally a log, but hold on. This special archetype gives you a 10% chance to dodge an attack. It's not the most reliable, but when it works, it feels like pulling off a last-minute ninja move. Yo, it's not something you'd build an entire strategy around, but hey, a clutch dodge can sometimes be just what you need to stay in the game. Now, here's one I actually kinda dig. Lucky Charm. This special card is like having a little pocket of luck with you. It prevents status effects from activating on your card for 2 turns. 2 turns may not sound like much, but think about it. Those are 2 rounds where you get to laugh in the face of status ailments. Poison? Nah. Burn? Not today, but after those 2 turns, well, you're back to reality, so use those moments wisely. Moving on, we've got the Water Hashira. It's part of the Ice archetype, and I gotta say, it's a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, it has this neat little trick where it doubles your damage if you're dealing less than your enemy. On the other hand, that condition can be kind of annoying to pull off consistently. You really have to be strategic about when you play this one, otherwise you're just swinging and missing. Alright, let's talk about the Shadow Strategist. This one's interesting because it's a special type that lets you seal your opponent's ability for 1 turn when it enters. It's a bit like saying, hey, I know you've got some cool stuff planned, but not today. It's perfect for disrupting your enemy's rhythm, but it's a one-time deal, and after that, you're kinda left hoping you've got something stronger up your sleeve. And who could forget the Fool from the Sandstorm archetype? This one's all about chipping away at your opponent's health. It deals 8% of their max health, which sounds impressive until you realize it's not scaling with your attack power. It's great for some quick damage, especially if you're up against a beefy foe, but if you're not building around that strategy, it will leave you wanting more. Last but not least, let's chat about the Witch of Frost. Part of the Snow archetype, this one's a classic crowd control option. It freezes your opponent's cards for 1 turn, just 1 turn, but sometimes that's all you need to turn things around. Timing is everything with this card. Play it right and you'll be breaking down your enemy's strategy like a pro. Play it wrong and it'll feel like you just threw an ice cube at a fire. Useless. The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Ice Princess, Returner, Slug Medic, Rogue Ninja, Candy Fiend, Cypher, Power Candy, Galactic Tyrant, The Alchemist, Super Idol, Sharkskin Swordsman, Heroic Traitor, and Wicked Weaver. Oh, here we go, diving into the B tier cards of anime card battle. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, B tier, meh, not for me, hear me out. These cards are like the unsung heroes of the game. Perfect for building your deck if you're just starting or looking for solid, reliable options. Trust me, these aren't the flashiest cards in the game, but they've got some serious potential when played right. Let's break down why each one deserves a spot in your collection. First up, we've got the Ice Princess Snow. This card is all about control. When she's taken down, she doesn't just disappear, she makes a statement. She freezes your opponent's card for 2 turns, and that's a massive advantage. Imagine locking down your opponent's heavy hitter just when they're about to unleash chaos. Ice Princess is perfect for those who love to stall and set up their next big move without interference. It's like putting your opponent on ice, literally. Now, I've got a soft spot for the returner Isekai card. It's a classic comeback story, literally. This guy has a 50% chance to revive at full health, and if you get lucky, you'll be flipping the game in your favor out of nowhere. Nothing feels better than watching your opponent's face or their avatar, I guess, when returner pops back up after they thought they had you down. It's like saying, "Surprise, I'm not done yet." And that's the kind of energy you want in a duel. Moving on, we can't forget about Slug Medic event. You might think, a slug? Medic? Really? But don't underestimate this little guy. Healing 10% of your card's health each turn might not sound like much, but in the long game, it adds up. It's perfect for those who like to keep their key players alive longer, making your deck way more sustainable. Think of Slug Medic as your card's personal health insurance, reliable and always there when you need it. Next, let's talk about the Candy Fiend special, sweet and dangerous. That's the vibe here. Every time this card defeats an opponent, it heals by 25% of their HP. So not only does it knock out enemies, but it also boosts its own longevity. It's like a sugar rush, but for your cards. Candy Fiend is an awesome pick for players who want an aggressive but self-sustaining playstyle. Go on, have a taste of victory with this one. Finally, one of my favorites, Sharkskin Swordsman Ice. This card's got style and survival instincts. It heals by half of the damage it deals, making it a vicious opponent in battle. Picture this, every strike it lands is not just dealing damage, but also regenerating itself. It's like every slice keeps it in the fight a little longer. Perfect for those who like aggressive, relentless strategies that keep you on the offensive. Honestly, it's a blast to play and watch your opponent struggle to chip away at something that's constantly healing. So there you have it. B tier isn't just the backup squad. It's the foundation for some seriously fun and strategic gameplay. These cards might not always steal the spotlight, but they know how to hold their own. And in the right hands, they're absolute game changers. The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Null, Flicker God, Sacred Heart, Dark Matter, King of Curses, Phantom Edge, and Frosty Fire. Alright, let's dive into some seriously cool A tier cards from Anime Card Battle. These are the kind of cards that might not have the sheer power of an S tier, but they're still absolute gems to have in your deck. Trust me, when you pull one of these, you know your strategy just leveled up big time. So without further ado, let's break down why these cards are worth holding on to. First up, we have Null Galaxy. This card has one of those sneaky abilities that messes with your opponent's head, literally. The moment Null hits the field, it forces your opponent to attack their next card. Talk about a mind game. It's perfect for throwing off your opponent's momentum, and it sets you up to control the tempo of the match. It's like saying, "Hey, you sure you want to play that card?" while you watch their strategy crumble. Honestly, that kind of psychological play can be just as valuable as raw power. Next, there's Flicker God Infinite Tsukiyomi. This card brings some chaos into the mix with a 25% chance for your opponent to attack themselves. And look, I know what you're thinking, 25% doesn't sound like much, but when it hits, it feels so satisfying. Watching your opponent's best card turn against them is one of those priceless moments that make you fall in love with the game all over again. Plus, when you have a deck that thrives on disruption, Flicker God is the kind of wildcard you need. Let's not forget Sacred Heart Manga. Now, this one's all about that sweet sustain. With a 30% damage reduction and healing you for 35% of the damage taken, Sacred Heart is the perfect shield for any deck looking to outlast the competition. It's like having a personal healer who's always ready to keep you in the fight. And believe me, in those longer matches where every point of HP counts, Sacred Heart shines bright. It's a card that's practically built for clutch moments. And finally, Dark Matter Boss is here for all my damage dealing fans out there. Not only does this card recover 50% of your HP, but it also sends 20% of your opponent's attacks right back at their entire deck. It's the perfect mix of offense and defense, letting you recover while dishing out damage across the board. If you love watching your opponent's cards drop like flies, this is the card for you. It's all about making your deck feel like an unstoppable force while keeping you in the game. So, whether you're a fan of counterattacks like Phantom Edge Manga, or you want to freeze your foes with Frosty Fighter Snow, these A-tier cards bring some serious heat or ice. Don't sleep on them. Each one has its own way of flipping the game in your favor. The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Moonlight Guardian, Wandering Samurai, Cursed Gambler, and Black Swordman. Alright, here's a hot take for you. If you're not running an S tier deck in Anime Card Battle, you're basically setting yourself up for a one-way ticket to defeat City. I mean, why settle for anything less when you've got powerhouses like the Moonlight Guardian or the Black Swordman at your disposal? These cards are absolute game changers, and if you're serious about winning, you need these in your arsenal. Let's break down why they're the best of the best, shall we? First up, the Moonlight Guardian Galaxy. This card is a beast when it comes to defense. Imagine taking 20% less damage based on your max HP, like, that's insane. You throw this guy down and it's like putting up a giant no entry sign for your opponent's damage. It's perfect for stalling and wearing your enemies out while you plot your next big move. And honestly, who wouldn't want a shiny galaxy themed guardian holding down the fort? Now, the Wandering Samurai manga, this one's for all my aggressive players out there. Every time you deal damage to your opponent, you seal their ability. Yes, you heard that right, seal it. It's like saying, nice try but no abilities for you. It's the ultimate counterplay card that gives you control of the field, especially when your opponent relies on those tricky combos. Samurai don't play games, and neither should you. Last but definitely not least, the Cursed Gambler event and the Black Swordman Eclipse. These two cards bring in the perfect mix of risk and raw power. The Cursed Gambler has a 50% chance of healing back the damage you've just dished out, which is like getting free health while wrecking your opponent's life points. Total win-win. Meanwhile, the Black Swordman, triple damage to all opponents. It's like wiping the floor with everyone at once. If you're not running these in your deck, you're missing out on some serious anime card mayhem. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.